Electrician College and just going to do the van tour. So I'll open up so you can see, but first of all I'll show you the most important piece of equipment in the van. Right, so I'll start with the back doors. Everyone likes a good back door entrance. Few things have broken and fallen off. I actually got a 3D printer and I printed a few hooks and whatnot, so I don't know what these are for. Adam knows what they are. Big wipes, bits and bobs. So I saw this on someone else's video, I think. So this one clips from DIN rails. I think it's going to be a bit loose from driving. So some spare DIN rails on there and on here, just for spare breakers. I had a massive tub of them, like I'm talking 2 of them. And when we sorted the van out, I realised I hadn't used anything out there for about 2 years, so it all went in the bin. I could have sold it all, but hey-ho. So that's that. With the lights, I actually broke the lights from putting the racking in. So me and Adam's dad manufactured our own light switch off a breaker. So that helps that. So few organisers. So I've got the stackers, which you've probably seen on some of the videos. This is sort of first fix stuff that we bring in on pretty much all the jobs. So you got the first one, which is just screws, grommets, fast fixes and that sort of stuff. Next one is a few ideals, a few Wagos. Next one, clips, and then after that you've just got nails, some brown plugs and whatnot, just sort of for capping and heavier things. I don't know how many of you lot have seen this on my videos, you watched them. So this is at the charging station that I made myself, because I was sick to death. We had about 8 chargers floating around in the van. So you got 36 volt charger and then 3 18 volts. Highly safe, as you can see. But it does the job. So I've got 2 of them. I think the other one's at home still, that we leave in there, so we can just come out, set up, plug in, charge up. That's that one. I don't know what these do still. Another uni light. Next on is, that's my old testing box. So this is sort of the more stuff that doesn't get used very often as such. So crimps, open eye ones, you've got some fuse wire in there, 25mm open grommets, some P-clips, so that's for like your main tails and whatnot, when you need to clip it to a board, secure it back sort of thing, so they just bend around. Glanding kit. And most of these are empty, to be fair, because I had a sort of addiction, didn't I? I just kept buying them on offer. One's a big screw box, one's, I can't even tell you actually. That's empty. Oh yeah, one's cleats. So I've got all my cleats for armoured, and then I don't know how much you've seen these. These are the, I can't remember the name, for inside trunking. You know, you got for the fire rating. So that needs to,
D-line clips, I think.
That's it. Yeah. So obviously that clips inside of an M2 trunking, and once that's screwed in place, you just bend it round to.
Can you just remind us why you might be using them, Nick?
Why you're using them in case of a fire. So this is for obviously if it's ceiling mounted trunking or wall mounted trunking. Anything that's loose needs to be clipped back with a metal fixing. So if there's a fire, the trunking melts, the cables would drop. These keep it in place for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Right, hop up. You all know what that is. Hang on. I'm on about getting a workbench because everyone seems to have workbenches at the moment, but it's just keeping it. Another storage. Spare stuff, just normal bits and bobs. Woody. So what I've sort of got in here now, so I made this all myself at some point a couple of years back. Try and organise it as best I can to a degree. So you got individual boxes that normally has like whisker boxes in the waterproof boxes, which I don't have any. These are cooker switches and blank plates. These are normally my Wago boxes, so I think I've got big XL, and we've got a box of the smaller ones for the 221 fittings, that sort of stuff. Where a couple of years ago they weren't used as much, but now we get through a box a week at least. Some spare bits and bobs, that sort of extractor fan stuff, plumbing kit. And
sorry, plumbing kit?
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. So each individual box, so we've got sockets and sockets and fuse switch spurs and cooker units. And then on top, below that, you've got all your light switches, pull cords, that sort of things, just some spare.
You got a favourite manufacturer of those, or do you just dart around to?
There's a few different types in there. GT, Schneider, a few click stuff. Big job we did the other week. they wanted all the deco stuff, the new stuff, so rounded edge, it was really nice. On top of that, pattresses, so fast fix, normal metal ones, knockout ones, and then this is just pendants and whatnot. So 2-3 boxes of just spares, so there should be another word for it. And then we've got the Brother label printer, which is an absolute piece of kit in itself. So not only does it just like work normally as is, but then you download the app and you can pretty much print anything off. I can print my logos off it, which I've actually done on the back.
Cool.
Yeah, that other label on there is from a friend. That's a central piece of kit if you want to take like a lot of pride in your work and show it off. Like it's really good. Then we've got cable fish, which extends out, which is good for flexi conduit and normal conduit, just feeding cables through. Cable tongue.
How'd you get on with the cable tongue?
Love it. Do love it. It's not broke yet, but from the end tip bending, I need to get the adapter so you know that grips it.
The sock, yeah.
The only annoying thing about it is storing it, whether or not they do a clip or something, because if you don't put tape on it, it just unravels absolutely everywhere in the van. I cut a 4-inch hole through the racking to slide all my capping through, some metal and some trunking, but they're like 2 metre lengths. So on the top we've got a pipe, rhino pipe, that will fit 3 metre length stuff in. 6 foot level, which comes in handy. And then down here we've got the laser tripod, which you've probably seen in a few videos. These were the boxes that were full of the breakers that I ended up throwing away, so I've ended up just putting some core. Well, I've got a core kit, but I don't keep it on the van. Cable ties, metal cable ties, that sort of stuff. What else we got? Pretty much it for the back, and then this is sleeving, crimp set, just spare bits and bobs, clips, earth clamps, just sort of the general stuff. I managed to pick one of these up the other week and get it out. So this is off a job where the DNO changed the main cutout, and I asked him if I can keep it, just so I can show Adam what it's like, because it's not very often you get to see inside them.
It's good. How much would you spend at a wholesaler per month, roughly, if you're allowed to tell us?
About £2 grand, £2.5 grand
wow,
a month.
£2,500. So, which wholesaler do you generally use?
My local one. It's called Electrical in Stafford. It's just family run one, so It does me. They look after me quite well. They only live about 5 minutes away from my house, so it works out quite well.
Does that mean that if you're stuck for a certain bit of kit on a certain day, he's quite handy at dropping it around your house, is he? Instantly,
yeah. Most of them live around my area, so if I turn around and ring them up and say I need a fuse board or whatever for tomorrow, they just drop it off on the way home from work. So
you can't ask for more. Yeah, that's worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Right, I'll take you in the sliding door. My keys. Yeah. Adam's favourite kit. I left this on the job for 3 months and I only picked it up the other day. Adam's spare tool bag that I bought him, which is never used. And then these are sort of, obviously, other than the Vera stuff, these are my old tool kits that will still be in use to a degree. They're the sticky back Velcro, so you can either stick them in your van or staple them on. I can put some stuff on the side. So that's my old loadout as such, which I'd still highly recommend. It's wicked. So tape, all the screwdrivers, just everything you sort of need for a second fix / slight first fix job. So anything, the world's longest screwdriver. It's very duplicated from what we got in there. That's nice and new and tidy. But this is what I mean about having it open toe, is the amount of dust and rubbish you fill it up with. And this is sort of heavier. This is the sort of first fix bag with lump hammers, chisels, bolt levels, crowbars, lifting bolt, old chisels, just anything. But this is what I mean about these being open and the van getting rusty. A lot of these are quite new, especially these that I only bought a couple of weeks ago. And the amount of moisture in the van, it's just, they've never been out in the rain, nothing.
Have you got a favourite tool? You got your first tool, your hand-me-down tool, the tool that was Grandad's?
I had quite a few of my dad's tools, but my van's been broken into 4 times.
Oh, right.
So they stole all them, which was more sentimental than any value as such, but it was a bit sucky. I've always been attached to these, but honestly, I've got through 30 pairs of them probably. So,
how much are they a pair roughly? Off the top of your head? 20 quid?
20, 24 quid, something like that.
Yeah. Do the maths, folks.
Well, they're the bigger versions. The normal ones, the ones that Adam's got, they're about that. So yeah, just be careful. This was a newer purchase recently, which is the rod kit, because I ended up buying cheap ones off eBay for 6 quid that ended up piercing my hand with a splinter. You run your hand down them and it goes under your skin. So with their set, you've got all the attachments, all the bead in the eyelets. It's got a torch on one of them, and then all the different thicknesses cable rods. So they are good. And you got a nice little bendy one as well. Adam likes to be a whip with that one. And then you get it in a fancy case. I don't quite know why. So if you've got it, use it. What else? Elephant tape. I used this on a video once and I barely ever use it, but it's just a massive roll of sellotape that you can lay on people's carpets. So if you're there for a majority, one day it'd be pointless, but if you're at an extended time, so put it down the hallway up the stairs, sticks it down, sticks itself, and then you just peel it up afterwards. So it is good, but it's a bit manky now, to be fair. Obviously steps. Results for a fuse board. Are we having a look, are we? There we go.
Not the paperwork I usually see with the test
No,
results,
no.
but it's a little bit different.
Yes, no, my iPad went flat when I was on a job and I had to write it all down. And the only pen I had was a Sharpie, so it sort of worked hand in hand. Some spare lights, right. So, obviously built all this for the cable drum, slight angle to keep it all on, 2.5, 3-core 1mm, 1mm 2-core, twin and earth, 10mm earth, some aerial cable. I have got some singles, but I have got a lot more cable, but it's just at home. The problem is, with the van volts and all the cable, the van becomes so heavy, you end up wasting loads of fuel. So, anyway, van volt time. So, I really not have any Bosch tools. Everything's Bosch really, so I can sort of lie them out. 18 volt multi-tool, 18 volt mini SDS, 36 volt SDS, 36 volt SDS. So I bought another one of these when Adam started working with me, because when the power was off you could only use one drill and it was more beneficial to both of us to be using it. It's another thing about the moisture as well in the van, is it gets on all your tools. So that's not even that old, it's probably a year old. So that's one of the 18 volt, the other 18 volts in there. 36 volt batteries, a lot of 18 volt angle grinder, which mainly for electrician I found the benefit to this is, I'm not sure if it was on one of my videos where someone's tiled around a socket, the tile overlaps the patras and you end up having to cut the patras around or you end up cracking the tile. So that comes in handy every now and then. 10.8 volt impact, which doesn't get a lot of use. There's the battery. Impact. So this is one of the newer ones. This has also got a ratchet attachment for the for tyres and whatnot. Another 18 volt impact, and then just loads of batteries. Oh, Adam, I found it. My mega clamp meter. I'm looking for that the other day. Obviously, this is a clamp meter for earth leakage fault. Yeah, earth leakage for RCD tripping. So that's a good bit of kit, but it's expensive for the amount of times you use it. I bought it for 200 quid and I've used it once in 6 months. So, but then again, it could save you hours and hours and hours on a job. Save you time that way. That's the top one.
Just take a pause there for me. Folks, everybody says to me they want to work for themselves, and then you see how much kit that we're having to get out of the van in order to do a day's work.
Yeah.
There's a few quid's investment here, isn't there?
Bottom drawer. So you got 240 SDS, which as and when you can, use 240 because it is obviously more powerful than a battery one. It's just, that's the way it works, but obviously the electricians return the power off most of the time. So pretty much I got duplicates of everything and in 240, except I got a jigsaw as well. I've got a corded jigsaw, I don't know where it's gone though. And I've got another, so I've got another 240 volt. That's more for me helping out doing kitchens and a bit of carpentry, but this does come in handy sometimes with floorboards. So if you've got to get a lot of floorboards up, you can set this to the right depth, run it across the tongue and groove, instead of going across the multi-tool that takes 3 times longer. That's 18 volt, and then reciprocating saw as well. This is pretty pointless for electrician, other than tearing stuff apart. To be honest, I've not really found use for this in our industry, other than doing some other bits and bobs outside of our work. And then I've got the Holy Grail, my laser. So that comes out on most jobs, really, with any sockets going in on the tripod. I want to get one of the poles that attach to the ceiling, but that's a cracking bit of kit. You can't beat a good laser for electrician if you fancy getting your stuff level. That's about it, really.